I do not know why my phone is ringing at this hour. I am sitting in the small cabin in Colorado, surrounded by pine trees, trying to enjoy a rare weekend alone. My work has been chaotic, and I promised myself a day without interruptions. The screen flashes a name I have learned to dread: Karen, my sister-in-law. "I sold your house," she says immediately, her voice sharp and triumphant. I freeze, gripping the edge of the wooden table. I cannot breathe. "What are you talking about?" I ask, my voice steady despite the panic creeping into my chest. "It is done," she replies without hesitation. "The papers are signed. Michael will move in next week. You have nothing left there. Enjoy your little getaway." Her smugness drips through the phone, and I feel the familiar heat of betrayal surge. I sit back, letting the silence stretch for a moment. Karen thinks she has won. I have been away for only 10 days on a conference trip in Denver, presenting at the National Architecture Summit. I left trusting Michael, my husband, and his family, believing they would respect my property. How wrong I was. "You think this scares me?" I finally say. I keep my tone calm, careful not to reveal the shock boiling inside. "How exactly did you manage to do this without my knowledge?" I ask, eyes scanning the cabin, imagining the paperwork she must have forged. "It is simple," she says, her voice softening just enough to sound like a confidant. "Michael gave me the authority while you were off living your glamorous life. Julia, his assistant, deserves this home. You clearly do not." I let a small smile cross my face, though she cannot see it. She believes she knows everything. I reach for my phone and call my lawyer, Elaine Ford. Elaine has been prepared for anything, just as I anticipated. My forethought over the past 6 months begins to feel like a shield around me. "Elaine, it is happening," I say as she answers immediately. "Karen claims she sold my house. She says Michael gave her power of attorney." There is a pause on the line, a faint clicking sound. "Did Michael really?" Elaine asks, her tone measured. "Do you have documentation of his signature?" I cannot help but feel a rush of relief. "I do," I reply. "I have had Michael's actual power of attorney secured for months. This is fraud." "Good," Elaine says firmly. "We will proceed immediately. I will contact the county recorder and the authorities. No one will touch your house without consequences." I hang up and breathe in the crisp mountain air. The sun is low in the sky, casting orange light across the pines. The calmness of the evening contrasts sharply with the storm brewing back home. I am not just calm, I am ready. I will not let Karen or anyone else take what is mine. I glance at my reflection in the cabin window. For a brief moment, I see the woman who built her life from nothing, who faced betrayals quietly, but always emerged stronger. Karen will find out soon enough that underestimating me is the biggest mistake she could ever make. I cannot stop thinking about the last few months leading up to this moment. At first, I ignored the small signs, telling myself I was overreacting. Michael had been distant, yes, but he had always been busy at his architectural firm. Yet, little things began to accumulate like tiny cracks in glass. Receipts for dinners I never attended. Faint scents of perfume on his shirts that were not mine. And the way Karen's calls suddenly increased, always when I was out of town. I remember the day it all became clear. Michael had left a folder on the kitchen counter, supposedly notes for a client meeting. But the papers inside were not professional. They were property documents, powers of attorney, and forms signed in my name. My stomach sank. I had always trusted him, and now I could not. It is ironic, really. I have spent years building a life of honesty and transparency. I am an interior designer, meticulous in detail, organized in every way possible. Yet, someone I trusted implicitly believed they could manipulate the system behind my back. That belief, I realized, would be their undoing. 6 months ago, when I first suspected Michael and Karen were planning something, I contacted my lawyer, Elaine Ford. She is a sharp, no-nonsense professional who understands strategy as well as the law. Together, we went over every potential threat, every vulnerability, and every precaution I could take to safeguard my home. Michael may have had access to his mother and sister, but I had anticipated their audacity. I had also installed security cameras throughout the house, nothing overt, just subtle lenses that captured every entrance, every visitor. I had ensured that every signed document went through my personal safe first, and any powers of attorney were verified and notarized. Karen had no idea how prepared I was. Even with all these precautions, hearing her voice over the phone claiming she sold my house sends a cold shiver down my spine. She thinks she can intimidate me. She thinks I am unprepared. Yet I am calm. I have already seen the patterns, already anticipated the moves, and I have waited for this exact moment to strike. I think back to my first visit to Elaine's office. She had looked at me and said, "You are thinking like a chess player, not a victim. That is exactly what you need." I nodded, not fully understanding the depth of what she meant. Now, I understand perfectly. Every move Karen made, every attempt to destabilize me, was part of a game, and I am about to checkmate without her realizing it. The evening settles over the mountains, the sky deepening into shades of purple and gold. I sip a cup of coffee, letting the warmth seep into my hands. I can feel the storm gathering back home, yet I am grounded, composed, and prepared. I will not let betrayal dictate my life. I glance at my laptop, ready to draft emails to authorities, document everything, and create a timeline that will leave Karen exposed. She believes she has taken the upper hand, but in reality, she has walked straight into my plan. Soon, everything she thought she controlled will unravel, and I will emerge not just intact, but stronger than ever. I open my laptop and begin drafting emails, my fingers moving deliberately over the keys. Elaine has already prepared templates for the county recorder, local authorities, and law enforcement. Every word is precise, every detail documented. I cannot afford a single mistake. Karen believes she has cornered me, but I am already 10 steps ahead. The first email goes to the county recorder. I attach scanned copies of the original deed, the notarized powers of attorney, and the security footage showing no legitimate transfer of ownership occurred. I write clearly, concisely, emphasizing that any sale without my verified signature constitutes fraud. By the time Karen realizes what has happened, it will be too late. Elaine calls while I am typing. "Are you ready?" she asks. I nod, though she cannot see me. "I am ready," I say. "Every document, every precaution, every camera placement is accounted for. They will not succeed." She chuckles softly, her voice confident. "Good. Because they have no idea how serious you are. They think intimidation works. They will learn quickly it does not." I hang up and sip my coffee, letting the mountain air calm my racing thoughts. I am not angry. Anger clouds judgment. I am focused, composed, methodical. Karen may think her triumph is near, but she does not understand that preparation is power. And I have all of it. I review the security footage again. Karen entering the house with her briefcase of documents, signing papers, smiling as if victory is hers. She has no idea that I anticipated this move. Each camera angle has captured her actions, providing evidence of her intent to commit fraud. Michael may have been complicit, but I have proof that his involvement was coerced or misrepresented. The law is firmly on my side. Next, I draft a timeline of events. Every suspicious call, every unexplained document, every instance of potential fraud is meticulously recorded. Elaine will use this to build an airtight case. Karen may believe she is clever, but she has underestimated me. She has never faced someone who prepares for betrayal months in advance. I pause and take a deep breath. I think of my grandfather's words. Do not react in haste. Observe, plan, and act with precision. That is how you win battles that matter. I smile. He would be proud. Not for revenge, but for the careful, deliberate way I protect what is mine without resorting to rash action. By nightfall, I have sent all communications. Authorities are aware, documentation is complete, and Elaine is ready to act. I walk outside the cabin, the stars reflecting on the quiet lake. I feel a strange sense of calm triumph. Karen will not see this coming. She will feel her confidence crumble as every step she took is meticulously documented and countered. I think about Michael. He will have to explain himself, but I am not reacting emotionally. I am protected, prepared, and in control. The house, my legacy, my sanctuary, will remain mine. The storm she thought she could create has turned into my opportunity to demonstrate that underestimating me was her gravest mistake. I sip my coffee again, watching the reflection of the night sky ripple across the water. Karen has no idea that the entire situation is about to collapse around her. Every move she has made, every assumption, every moment of smug triumph will be rendered meaningless, and I will stand, calm and unshaken, as justice quietly unfolds. The call comes early the next morning. Elaine's voice is crisp and sharp, the kind that makes you sit up straight. "It is happening," she says. "Karen is attempting to finalize the sale, but the county recorder flagged the documents. They are invalid. Fraud has been detected." I cannot help but smile, though no one can see me. Months of preparation, careful planning, and documentation are finally paying off. Karen thinks she is clever, that she has outmaneuvered me, but she does not understand that every move she made has been anticipated and recorded. I replay the security footage in my mind. Karen walking into the house with a folder full of forged papers, glancing at the cameras, thinking no one noticed. Every smirk, every gesture, every attempt at intimidation is now evidence against her. Her confidence is about to implode. Elaine continues. "The authorities have frozen all transactions related to the property. Any attempt to sell it without your verified signature is being treated as criminal fraud. I have already drafted notices for Michael and Karen. They will receive them today." I breathe deeply. The calm mountain air fills my lungs, grounding me. I feel no satisfaction in anger or revenge. This is not about punishment. It is about justice. The house built by my grandfather, passed through generations, is safe. My legacy remains intact. Then comes the twist. A message from Elaine flashes on my phone. "You will want to see this," it reads. I open the attachment. The county recorder has sent scans of the attempted filings. Karen's signature is clearly forged. Michael's approval is absent. Everything they thought would pass unnoticed has been caught in a perfect web of legal and procedural safeguards. I laugh softly, almost inaudibly. Karen's plan has collapsed under the weight of her own arrogance. Every assumption she made, every moment she believed she had the upper hand, has been systematically undone. She is about to realize that underestimating me was her biggest mistake. I think about Michael. He will have to answer to the authorities. He may protest, claim ignorance, but the evidence is clear. The security footage, the notarized documents, the emails, all of it paints an unmistakable picture. No manipulation, no charm, no excuses will change the outcome. By afternoon, the first notices arrive. Karen calls frantically, her voice sharp and panicked. "Amanda, this is a misunderstanding. I did not forge anything. Michael authorized me." I listen calmly, letting her words hang in the air. "I am aware of everything," I say evenly. "Every action, every document, every signature. You cannot sell my house, you cannot intimidate me, and you will face the consequences for attempting to do so." Her voice falters. She had not expected me to be this prepared, this composed, this unstoppable. The arrogance she relied on to feel invincible is crumbling. I sit back and watch, both figuratively and literally, as the first seeds of panic take root. I glance out at the cabin window, the sun dipping low behind the mountains. The storm she thought she could create has been dismantled with precision and patience. And I, standing calm and unshaken, am ready to see justice fully realized. The next morning, I receive confirmation from Elaine. Karen has been officially charged with attempted real estate fraud. Michael is under investigation as an accomplice, though his claims of ignorance are noted. The authorities are moving swiftly. Justice is no longer just a possibility, it is inevitable. I sit in my cabin, sipping coffee, and let the news sink in. Relief washes over me, but it is not the relief of revenge. It is the relief of knowing that preparation, patience, and careful action have preserved what is mine. My house, my legacy, my sanctuary, is safe. Messages start flooding in. Friends and colleagues express concern and support. Even strangers, upon hearing parts of the story, send words of encouragement. I smile, realizing that the people who matter have always been in my corner. Those who sought to undermine me were never truly a threat. They were merely distractions, giving me the opportunity to act decisively. Elaine calls to update me further. The county recorder is satisfied with the documentation. Karen will face fines and probation. Michael's cooperation is being reviewed. You have covered every angle. Her tone is almost amused. I do not think she expected you to be this prepared. I laugh softly. No, she did not. Karen never understood me, never anticipated that I would plan for betrayal months in advance. She thought she could intimidate and manipulate me, but she underestimated the power of foresight and calm action. I think back to my grandfather's house, the Victorian home I grew up in, the home I inherited and cherished. Each room holds memories, each corner a piece of my history. It is more than a house. It is a testament to resilience, to planning, to standing firm when others seek to take what is rightfully yours. Later that day, Michael calls. I answer, keeping my voice steady. Amanda, please, can we discuss this? I did not know what Karen would do. I listen quietly, letting the pause speak volumes. Michael, I say finally, this is not about punishment. This is about accountability. You had a choice, and now the authorities will determine the consequences of your actions. My focus is on ensuring the house remains secure and that justice is served. He remains silent, perhaps realizing that his excuses hold no power over the outcome. I hang up and feel a sense of closure unlike anything I have experienced before. The storm has passed. What remains is clarity, security, and the knowledge that I acted decisively when it mattered most. I step outside, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows across the mountains. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of pine and possibility. I think of the months of preparation, the moments of doubt, and the patience required to see everything through. I realize that the true lesson is not in revenge, but in standing firm, protecting what is yours, and never underestimating your own strength. By evening, I am back in my house, walking through the familiar rooms, each one illuminated by the warm glow of the sunset. The house is intact, the legacy preserved, and I am stronger for the experience. For Karen, the consequences of her actions are unfolding. For me, the future is open, safe, and filled with possibilities. I pour a cup of tea sitting in the kitchen my grandfather built and smile. The victory is quiet, but it is complete. Preparation, patience, and calm action have won the day. I am free, empowered, and ready for whatever comes next.